Hello. Oh, something has happened. Oh, you know what? I know what has happened. My camera's not on. I apologize. 3, 2, resume. Hi. Hi. Hey. Peace and love. I mean, is there anything more important than peace and love on the planet Earth? Oh. Yes. Profit. Profit for the shareholder. Profit for the stakeholder. Profit for me. Profit for you. No profit for the company called Planet. The Planet Company doesn't get shit. They're not even a company. They're a government. They're communists. So that makes them evil, evil, evil. Evol. Should I put these on? Just so that, like, you're used to this aesthetic when we go live? I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to. Okay. I don't think I'm going to. Let's do a little bit of a time jump. I'm going to roll a d20. No, I can't roll a d20 because I can't go more than 10 years ahead. Okay. D8. So we can go from 12 to the age of 20 if necessary. 5. Okay. Vaya Ater is... I'll get there. 27 years old. No. So close, babe. 17 years old. To be 17 years old again. You fucking couldn't pay me. You absolutely could not pay me. No. Unless, I had a genie, and the genie didn't pull any tricks, and that genie let me go back in time with all the current knowledge, and then I could create Pear, the Apple alternative, and just be evil from the very beginning. Just like, my mission is, we will be evil, because as we said earlier, the only thing that's worse than peace and love and the planet Earth is corporate taxes, corporate. I mean, if you think about it, corporate taxes are like tariffs, and they just make the price higher. And if you cut corporate taxes, of course, they would immediately lower all the prices to adjust, because they would it would be enough to maintain the current amount of profit. There would be no need to make more. What are we ranting about? This is D&D. Okay, all right. 17 years old. You couldn't pay me to 17. Now there's the connection. Okay. I think her adopted parents have died by now. I think they probably died when she was 15-ish. Should we roll that? Okay, let's roll D12 plus 3. That was a 2, but that doesn't make any sense. So we're going to ignore that roll. Yeah, so they died when she was 15. So this is 2 years after she died. And I think she's like... Oh, is this how she ends up in the brothel? How she ends up being a dancer in the brothel? Is that this story? Oh my goodness. Okay. I would say let's roll a d20 and see if it's a happy story. But nobody, I think, happily ends up working at a brothel unless you're like a street urchin, right? And as a street urchin, your life is actual trash. This comes full circle because I'm actually Pigeon's mother. And by now, I'm a grandmother. It's not even funny, and y'all don't even know who Pigeon is. Wait, actually, if you found me from gaming with Koibu, then you might actually know who Pigeon is. Hi, I also know who Pigeon is. Isn't it a small world? Okay. early in Vaya Ater's life, she had a lot of run-ins with the police, okay? Street urchins and police. They don't often get along super well. Maybe even natural enemies. If police are designed to protect property and street urchins have no property, then at best, they have nothing to do with you, and at worst, they are your enemy trying to make you do stuff. I don't know if this timeline has the architecture that stops homeless people from sleeping, but keep that mentality, but apply it to the police guards. Probably the guards of the local keep. We're going to call them police because ACAB. Okay. What am I rolling? This is a D20, right? Yeah. Ooh, my cat's outside. Should I let her in? So at this point in time, I think Vaya is probably still just using a spear. Probably lifted off of one of the guards, and so, scraped up any of the markings that would have said it was for the local liege lord. I'm not sure that's a word. It sounds like I've heard that before. And her day-to-day mostly consists of carrying around a very large stick, poking people, stealing food, eating food, paying for food after doing random jobs around town. I wouldn't even say level 1 warrior yet. This is still level 0. She's still an NPC. No brains, very smooth, okay? Actual smooth brain. So, just smooth brain activities. One night she is cozied up behind a tavern. See, there's an alley where the drunk men go to piss. A little bit past that alley is this kind of abandoned kind of garden area. The previous tenant died of old age. Her garden went to hell as they turned it into like just a makeshift tavern. Like 2 bedrooms upstairs, taverns downstairs. It's basically just a house, but it is the workable inn in this area. And because you have to kind of go through the piss alley, as we will so lovingly call it, guards don't often go down there. So she has found the occasional evening to sneak into this abandoned, overgrown garden. There's a nice little patch among some wildflowers where she can kind of bed down, and it's not directly on rocks, and it's kind of fluffy because it's like some overgrown plant material, and not mulch, but old-timey mulch. It would no longer be manure. That would bacteria probably would have gone away. So it's just the ground and dead plant matter, and she's napping there, and she's asleep, and it's very, for a street urchin, this is a good spot. She has not told any of her compadres about this. None of her comrades know. I think this night she doesn't get bothered. And the next day is more of the same. There was that night there was a couple of fights inside the tavern. It got pretty rowdy right as the moon passed over. Cops came. They didn't go down the alley, so she was fine. Just kind of, woke her up. This was only the second time she had woken up that night. The first one was due to pretty bad nightmare. The nightmares are not always the same, but occasionally she gets this one where it feels like she's running through quicksand, okay? But she's not sinking. She is just moving slow. Everything is slow. Thoughts slow. Motion slow. The blood in her veins slow. And then all of a sudden, everything feels open. And then everything feels closed, as if she's gone into a forest. She hasn't lost her vision in these dreams, but it's like you're only seeing silhouettes. Or a silhouette of a silhouette. Like something that's almost there. Like a ghost or something. It's like you think that was a tree, but was that a tree? I don't know. You're moving so slow that you think you'd be able to see it, but you just can't focus on it. And throughout all of this, just the deep feeling of dread. It had been 2 years since her adopted parents died. They had been old when she was adopted, and she had lived with them for 5 or 6 years, tending to the woman of the house, day in and day out, driving the carriage. She thought she was over it. Like, it doesn't really haunt her. I mean, the fucked up thing of the matter is they didn't actually adopt her. She found out on that day that they never signed the papers. It was all a facade. It was all not even a thinly veiled lie. It was just, it was so tangible that she was unloved, uncared for. And local ordinances, that paperwork is signed, all of the stuff, all of the property, all the title goes to the adopted. That's fine. But none of it went to her, and she got the exact same inheritance that the household servants got, which was one singular gold. And she does have a gold pouch or a coin pouch, kind of that, maybe even nesting dolls where they're kind of separated into different, she's not poor. Well, at this point in time, she's poor, right? At this point in time, the only gold she has to her name is that gold inheritance, but she will not spend it. Absolutely will starve and not spend it. Later on, she has more gold, makes more money as an adventurer. She keeps that specific gold separate. Maybe even meets a blacksmith to drill a hole in it and wears it around her neck like a little on like a little hide chain that she just ties. Very cheap, but also just that singular gold inheritance to remind her that she'll make it through, and remind her where she came from. Remind her what she's been through. That night passes with only a few nightmares, but she only wakes up one time. The only one she remembers is the one of slow moving and then overwhelming dread. She's running from something. She still lives in the town that her adopted parents lived in. I don't know why it took me so long to come up with the words lived in. Obviously not in that house. Wasn't deeded to her. Wasn't signed to her. She got kicked out the day that they died. The Lord kind of was like, oh, we can kind of appropriate this wealth because this paperwork wasn't ever signed. Oddly enough, the Lord knew before she knew, before Vaya even knew. I mean, she wasn't expecting much, but she wasn't expecting nothing. A singular gold piece? The next day, she eats. Got an 18. She eats pretty well. So she's walking down the street, and there must have been a fight. There was footprints all in the dirt, kind of in a circle, a lot of them, maybe 20 different sets of footprints, and blood trailing off in one direction, maybe some other blood in another direction, some feet going back in the direction she's coming from. She kind of looks around, and there is a couple of silver pieces just sitting. Must have gotten into a fight. Maybe the coin bag. Maybe someone was getting pickpocketed. It came to a fight. The coin bag got cut. The coins dropped. Maybe most of them got picked up. There's no gold there. Maybe there's 9 silver. She only finds 8 silver, and then 2 copper. That's not a bad day for waking up and walking down the street. So I think today she largely spends her day in a tavern, just eating mud pies, not going extravagant. She doesn't come into a line of wealth, an ongoing, payment for her services. This is just the luck of the role. And gets a little bit day drunk, or as we peasants in old times like to say, drunk, and eat some meat pies. Eat some meat pies. Quite delicious, actually. Just num 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 num. And then that night, as everything begins to settle down a little bit, she stumbles out of her chair, and there are no men pissing in the alley. So she makes her way through piss alley of piss, makes sure to get minimal amount of piss on her leather boots, and then makes it to her little spot where she beds down. And she does indeed bed down. And then is there an encounter at midnight? Or, 3 o'clock in the morning? Ooh, there is an encounter at 3 o'clock in the morning. At some point in time, I think the tavern has to, if not actually close for everyone who's not an immediate guest living upstairs. So, at some point in time, people get kicked out. Maybe as the group of drunken imbeciles are leaving, there's hey, pal, hey, you stepped on my toe. Watch out. I didn't step on you. I didn't step on your fucking toe. Okay? Look. The motherfucker, the person back pushed me. Okay? Your problem's with them. Oh, you don't think you're calling me a liar? I felt you step on my toe. Bam. These are new shoes. Bam. Watch out. Bam. Maybe there's a brawl. It's a rowdy town. There was a pickpocket earlier with a fight. Now another fight. Oh my goodness. Is there a carnival in town? Are these carnies? This is great. This is wild. There's a fight, and so the guards get called. And one of the fightermen pulls away from the guard and goes to take a piss. And the guard is like, no, you're going to pee on my leg, as he turns it around, and the big dude starts peeing on his leg. And then, after the, hey, why are you peeing on my leg? Looks back, and then, maybe there's the specific amount of moonlight refracting down onto the tip of her spear or something. Maybe she didn't pull it close enough into the overgrown bushes that she's sleeping into, but the guard sees a little glimmer, little hey, what's that over there? Is that what am I gonna find back here? Another guard takes the drunken person off. I think they probably just break them up. Maybe they go to jail. I don't know. Then the one guard walks over, kind of pokes their stick into there. Evens or odds? Evens. It's a girl. She pokes the stick into the overgrown bushes, overgrown plants, and hits Vaya. And Vaya's like, hey! She's been drinking a little bit all day. Found some extra silver coins. Just having a good time. Hey, what are you doing? Ma'am, you... Vaya, you can't sleep here. Go home. I don't really have a home. Well, then you can't stay here. I don't really care where you go. Pokes Vaya again with the stick. Fine. Moans, groans, gets up, grabs the spear, makes sure it didn't leave anything behind, and kind of just begins to walk the town. And then she thinks about the tree. Oh, the tree that she used to visit, the tree that always has an apple to eat, and shade to cast, and a story to be written. She goes to the tree. Specifically, the same way that she would as a kid. Climb up the back of the ivy that's grown over this house. Jump over this slightly shorter log than the rest of them. Slightly shorter. A little bit easier to jump over. Maybe only minus however many on the roll instead of minus however many on the roll. And then to a branch, over the thing, grabs a branch, kind of swings over to another branch, shimmies down a tree. Bada boom, bada bing. We're outside the wall. At this point in time, the moon is beginning to... It's late. It's late in the morning. Early in the morning. The sun is not yet beginning to rise even. Definitely still dark, but the sun is over in the direction, casting its reflecting the light on the tree. And so she can just kind of just see the illumination of the hill and her destination as she begins to walk over there. Grabs an apple, begins to eat it, climbs the tree, up maybe 4 or 5 branches, maybe 10, 12, 13 feet into the tree. There is a knapsack, like a little brown hemp or canvas, probably, sack. And she reaches over, and from the sack, she pulls out her book. And she begins to write.